Hello, my name is Brad Kramer with Provenio Consulting, and today I want to talk to anybody that's in the role of buying or selling a business or an investor. Somebody like business brokers or private equity or venture capitalists, or pretty much anybody that's buying or selling a business. If you're buying or selling a business, it's always important to have an inspection done on that business to make sure you know where you stand from the regulatory standpoint, safety and environmental, and other topics like that. Because down the road, those things can really come back to haunt you. For example, if you're buying a business, you want to know what you're buying into. What are those things you might not know to actually look at? Looking at those safety records, what training's been done, what's there potentially for environmental hazards that you might be on the hook for cleaning up, any potential risks, things that you're going to have to fix after you buy it. And those are all important so that you know exactly what you're buying, so that for one thing, it doesn't come and bite you in the butt after that sale's closed, and all of a sudden you start finding things that I could have found before that sale. The other thing is good negotiating points at the table. So when you're going to make your offer and come up with that sale price, making sure that you're factoring in anything that you're going to have to invest in that business to make sure that it's up to par after you buy it. If you're a seller, it's good to have that inspection done so that for one thing, you know where you stand and you can advertise and negotiate that price accordingly. Um, you want to know what those future risks for lawsuits might be down the road. So if for example, something isn't right now and that business gets sold, you don't want to be sued down the road because something wasn't up to par or is advertised. If you're an investor, you want to make sure that your investment is operating as smoothly and profitably as possible. So when I do that inspection, I'm going to be looking for inefficiencies, things that can be done better, maybe reducing waste and stuff like that. Best mass management practices, anything that's going to make that business run smoother. Just a real quick background. Before I got into consulting, I've been a EHS, environmental health and safety manager for a number of different businesses, manufacturing, ag, field distribution, and stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of the best practices out there, and those things are wave a red flag. So I'm going to see them pretty quickly if there's issues in that business. I also have a bachelor's degree in business finance, so know what to look for in those numbers to see what's that ROI or where's money getting wasted. Um, Anyway, looking at some examples of what I might be looking for when I'm doing that business, things that, or when I'm doing that inspection, things that can come and save you money. PPE expenses, personal protective equipment. Where's all that money being spent on PPE? It might be getting wasted. For example, if you have employees that are using their safety glasses for a couple of days and throwing them out, wrong equipment. A lot of times people will be using the wrong type of PPE. They're not getting the expectancy. They're not getting the savings from using the right stuff. They may be overpaying. There might be better vendors for that equipment that you're getting that over the years I've gotten to know those vendors. We might even be able to eliminate some PPE and some different safety tactics if we can find a better way to do it that's going to cut your costs in the future. For example, a lot of times PPE is overused. And even though an engineered solution such as railing, ventilation, or something like that is going to have more of an upfront cost, but once we pay for it, it's done. Versus PPE, a lot of companies will be shelling out, a lot of money year after year, and it all adds up. So that ROI can be pretty quick. Um, Also, vending machines are a great option. So I'll know when I can look at that and see if that's going to be a good option for you. Chemical processes and other dangerous processes, looking at them, say, how can we eliminate them or maybe replace them? We might be able to engineer some solutions to get to the root of it and improve that process. Vendors, I've worked with a number of different vendors, waste vendors. So whether we're talking about landfillable waste, recyclables, hazardous waste, anything like that, I've worked with a number of different vendors. So we'll be able to make sure that you're getting the best deal. PPE suppliers, chemical suppliers, anything like that I'm going to notice when we're doing that inspection. Also, a lot of processes that have their root in safety. Sometimes they can be time consuming, and we can find a best practice that's really going to reduce that time spent on that job. For example, some companies, their permit process, for example, confined space permits, um, any other permits like that, are going to be more time consuming, lengthier, more detailed than they really need to be, and holding back the employees so they have to spend more time. And a lot of times then they end up skipping doing those permits. We might be doing labor intensive projects that I'll know who to talk to about getting those labor saving projects in there. Here's some real life examples of things that I've actually found in businesses. One example, a waste contract. Knowing the business that was picking up their waste and hauling it away, I found another business to replace them. That contract went much smoother. I had a lot more trust in that vendor and saved the company about $30,000 a year. Right, took about 1/3 of their cost from their waste removal. Another one was solvent recycling. So for a business that did urethane manufacturing, we're going through quite a bit of solvent every year. And I really drastically cut that down by bringing in a solvent recycler. And that ROI was in about 6 months. And that company is saving about $50,000 a year moving forward, between not having to dispose of the used solvents and not having to buy virgin product to replace it. PPE vending. PPE vending machines should be free from a good supplier. They're not going to charge you for it, and sometimes those can cut costs by as much as 50%. And in one case, I helped one company cut it in half by 50% and saved them about $30,000 a year. Also looking at things like air systems. One client I have had the old style air compressor on a tank, and the reciprocating air compressor. And when I pointed some things out to him, he started going through that process of getting a much higher efficiency air compressor in there, and didn't know that you could get rebates. So I pointed out the rebate process for getting a rebate from the utility company, which is going to help him out tremendously. And then we started talking about all the air leaks in the system, as well as his air pressure was much higher than it needed to be. So if you have your air pressure system is higher than it needs to be, and we can cut that down, you can save your cost dramatically, because your system works a whole lot more to get that increased pressure. And plus, they were drawing inside air, which we can cut the cost if we bring use outside air for that air compressor system. So those are some examples of some things that we can find during an inspection that are going to save your business money and make you more regulatory compliant, making sure you're not going to get in trouble with OSHA or the EPA. So if you are involved in buying or selling a business in any way, or want an inspection on your business for any reason for the safety and environmental, I'd be happy to help you. Brad Kramer with Provania Consulting. Thank you very much.